cover the serious stuff.
Fenneka's in my chat chanting 1Z, 1Z, 1Z.
We'll get there.
So the United States strikes on alleged drug boats violate law, UN Human Rights Chief says.
Of course it does. We're just
yeah.
fucking throwing... We're just like, yeah, no, let's just throw missiles that way. It'll be fine.
So this is one of those well-duh moments, but it's also kind of like, it's important that the UN is actually making statements about it, because for the longest time, like, I would argue that every single president of the United States for at least the last 30 years has been a war criminal. Mm-hmm. Like by just the definitions of what those words mean according to international law. However, because they're the most powerful country on the planet, the United Nations has been kind of turning a blind eye to it, being like, okay, we can ignore that one. Okay, we can ignore that one too. Yeah, you did a drone strike on civilians to get that one guy, like, whatever. No, it's fine. We'll just ignore it. We're not going to say anything about it. And they still haven't called Trump a war criminal, even though these are war crimes.
He's done war crimes. We don't have a word yet to describe a person who does war crimes, but, you know.
Colleen Waitley says, oh, so much longer than that, Rhino. I figured, but, like, those are the ones that I could actually... Like, those are the ones that I could actually tell you what they did. And it is usually drone strikes. There's also the fact that the way the American police treats protests, if it was done in an international conflict, that would be war crimes. Like tear gas, that's chemical weapons. It's not allowed according to the Geneva Convention.
They are the Geneva suggestions.
But because it's internal, it doesn't count as war crimes for some reason. And now we've got ICE that's just like dropping tear gas into neighborhoods as they're driving out of them. So like not even
for the purpose of cruelty.
Yeah, it's just to fuck people up. It's not even for the supposed purpose of tear gas in the first place. So I think it's important that the UN is actually making statements about this, because it feels like that is leading to like potentially putting Trump in the same bucket as Netanyahu, where he can't go to certain countries because then they will arrest him and send him to the Hague.
Which is ultimately just, I'm going to be honest,
Netanyahu's not going to the Hague anytime soon.
Yeah, it's not like super, it's symbolic. It's symbolic. I wouldn't say It
is. The UN doesn't really have any teeth.
Yeah, and the UN, like the biggest criticism about the UN, I think since its inception, has been the fact that it's toothless. And that's, like, it's the opposite coin of NATO, right? Where, like, NATO, like, most criticisms you can give to NATO are going to be that it can bare its teeth harder than almost any organization or country can, because it is all the biggest, worst ones with all the biggest weapons together. And then the UN is the opposite of that. It's supposed to be all the countries that care about peace without a single enforcement mechanism available.
Yeah. Yeah, so it is important that they're doing this, but even though it is mostly symbolic. But it does speak to the fact that, you know, despite what Trump will tell you, he is not respected on the world stage.
Mm-hmm.
It says the UN's human rights chief has condemned the U.S. military strikes on vessels allegedly carrying drugs in the Caribbean and Pacific, saying that the lethal attacks violate international law and amount to extrajudicial killing. They don't amount to that. They are that. I get this is a news outlet. They have to use the allegedly and amount to and stuff like that to avoid lawsuits and shit. But so the UN's calling for independent and transparent investigations. That's never going to happen. But here's the thing: like they claim that they're drug boats. If they were actually drug boats, then the thing to do is send the Coast Guard to board them, confiscate the drugs, catalog the evidence that they were drug boats, and send them into the justice system, which admittedly the justice system is really fucked up, especially when it comes to drug crimes. But it's nowhere near as fucked up as just executing them without a trial. Because here's the thing. If every single one of the boats they've blown up has actually been a drug boat that they've been trying to smuggle drugs into the country, and they had been caught and sent to trial, not a single one of the crimes that they would be convicted of carries the death sentence. And so we're saying that, hey, for this crime that does not carry the death sentence, we're going to perform the death sentence without even giving them a trial first. So, yeah, that violates international law. It should violate American law. I'm pretty sure it does violate American law. It's just a question of whether or not anyone's going to do anything about it.
But thing is, just like they tell you with stand your ground laws, if there is not a person on the other end to represent themselves, then there's nobody to defend themselves in a trial. So even though we should be doing those kinds of investigations to figure out, is this a drug boat? Where is this coming from? What is going on? Get actual information. If they're all dead, then as far as somebody like Trump is concerned, there is no need to worry about it at all. They're gone.
Yeah. No, if you blow up the boat, you're destroying evidence. If they actually are guilty of something, then blowing up their boat is destroying the evidence that they are guilty of that thing. So if you want to actually prove that they are guilty of the thing you're saying they're guilty of, you need to capture the boats, not destroy them.
Also, gonna be honest, we can always do what the Netherlands do in regards to drugs. If you are worried about drugs coming into a country, then you can legalize those drugs, you can provide outlets for people to get those drugs, and you can provide better support networks for those drugs instead of creating a black market. When you do those things, you're not going to have to worry about drug smuggling into your country anywhere near as much because your country ceases to be a profitable venue for smugglers.
Yeah.
Like obviously,
look at marijuana. Like, it was so much sketchier to buy marijuana from that guy you know who grows marijuana or knows someone who grows marijuana and maybe cuts it with oregano or something on the harmless side, and on the harmful side could cut it with something that can actually do some damage.
That's what we've been seeing with cocaine. So like I have so
that's where the fentanyl issue is.
That's where the fentanyl issue is coming from, because it's cheaper and you still get a high when you cut things like cocaine with fentanyl. And I have friends who are on the seedier side of things who have pointed out that that is a risk that is really, really, like, absolutely deadly, and they have friends who have died because what they considered to be a safe dosage for themselves was not a safe dosage when it was cut with other random fucking shit.
Yeah. And so now, because that's one of my concerns. Like, I have tried mushrooms, but it makes me nervous because I have heard stories of, like, the sketchy places where you can get mushrooms. Someone who prepared it confused a poisonous mushroom with one of the fun time mushrooms, and people have died from that. And so that is a concern of mine. I mean,
you can just go raid a cow pasture after it's rained.
Whereas, like, if they were legal and you could just go to a store and buy them and they're regulated and stuff like that, then it'd be a lot safer.
I'm also going to be right back. I have to grab something from the kitchen.
Yeah, anytime Sir says he's going to be right back, he's like 15 minutes out. He's going to grab something from the kitchen, then he's going to go take a shit.
Non-Enderman says, I can't believe Cirrus decided to drive to Rhinos. I don't think that is a decision that I want to ever have to make. But the minute that I make that decision, you know, things have gone so horribly down south here that things have gone far outside of my control or safety ability.
Yeah, but Sir, okay. So I have begun framing in my garage to ultimately move my office out there. So if you would like to come and help me with that, wink, wink.
I mean, if you can afford a plane ticket for me, I will. The
price of some of these plane tickets, I may as well just hire someone to do the framing for me.
Right, but then you get the added benefit of, happy fun friend time.
Well, no, this is one of those things where, like, I was actually putting it off, but then I told my dad about my plans. Then he, like, drew up his own plans for it, and he was like, okay, well, we could do this and we could do that. Like, he did the whole thing, and I think so. He's reaching an age where the projects that he would normally occupy his time with are not physically great for him to do anymore. And so this is a way for him to, like, I think he's actually enjoyed.
Sylvie, thank you for redeeming your points for an
not, because it's like something to do to occupy his time, and he gets to spend time with his son because, I'm the best time in the world. I'm the best person in the world to spend time with.
That's like any of my friends who, like, if we get caught in traffic because of something that they wanted to do, and they're like, man, I'm sorry that we're stuck here. I'm just like, yeah, I'm sorry. I get to hang out with one of my friends too. It's awful. It's terrible.
Yep. His son and his grandkids. You say that as if it's not an option for them to, like, take the grandkids off of my hands literally anytime they want. What's that? You want to spend time with the grandkids? Absolutely. Tell me when to drop them off at your place and they will be there. So yeah, I don't really think we need to get
cool off on
into
parties and hard drugs. Twilight Grim saying old Rhino is going to need to have to cool off with the parties and the hard drugs.
I literally get the parties and the hard drugs. I don't do parties, and I literally tried mushrooms once, and it was not a very big dose. So like I apparently didn't get the full impact. So like I kind of want to again, but like a bigger dose so I can actually get the full impact. But I haven't because I have 5 kids and I don't have time. Like I'm not. There is no way I'm going to be tripping on mushrooms when there is any child in the house.
Yep.
Just 0% chance of that. So, and like anytime the kids have been gone, we've been doing other things that I also cannot be tripping balls for.
That said, in regards to the topic at hand, do we have any other information, any other statements or anything about this that Trump or anybody in his admin has tried to use to defend this at all?
I don't think so. I think they basically, let's see. No. Yeah, no, they just double down on the lies and don't give any evidence. Like, what, do you want the drug boats into the United States? Because if we don't bomb the drug boats, then the drug boats get into the United States. What was that? You were asking for proof that they actually are drug boats, but they're drug boats because I said so. Like, that's all we get.
I just
And I
need
don't
you to
even why I'm
know.
putting that in Trump's voice. The only thing Trump says anymore is basically the same thing as Mike Johnson is. I don't know.
I don't know if they were drug
that's
boats.
That's the new party line with the Republicans.
I don't know.
I don't know. Mike Johnson doesn't know. Caroline Leavitt doesn't know. Trump doesn't know. Any difficult question? I don't know. You're going to have to ask someone else.
I feel like that's
okay.
something that their lawyers have told them to do. Speaking of their
Yeah.
lawyers, did you see the Legal Eagle video about the Trump lawyer that's been reaching out to I can't remember her name, but basically just telling news reporters, you're wrong with your story. You're getting your facts mixed up. And every single time that the Trump lawyer's been pressed on that, like, well, if the facts are mixed up, can you tell me what the facts are? No, that's not my job. Then shut the fuck up!
Yeah. Yeah, no, but it drives me nuts. This whole, like, anytime they get a difficult question, say, I don't know. But I get why they're doing it. It's like, if you say I don't know, then you're not getting caught in a lie. You're just incompetent.
Correct.
But like, I really want reporters when they get that answer to start asking follow-up questions. Be like, okay, you do know it's your job to know this sort of thing, right? Why are you not doing your job?
Like, are you going to let the American taxpayers know that their money has gone to you not understanding what you're supposed to be doing?
Yeah, like, we elected you to know these things. Why do you not know the things that you are supposed to know to do your job? And like, I really want reporters to start doing that. I really want reporters to start doing a lot, but apparently the billionaires that own the major news outlets don't care to challenge the status quo all that much.
Nope.
And like, oh, well, Trump is doing the tax cuts that are really, really good for me personally. So let's calm down on the questioning the Trump administration thing.
Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.